Okay. Alright, hold on. Give me 1 second here. Alright, what's going on, everybody? It is DylanLasagna. Yeah, that's my last name. This is DylanLasagna. Welcome to, this, very impromptu, episode number 5. You could technically call it a bonus episode of, DylanLasagna Live. Yeah, it's episode number 5, which came pretty unexpectedly because, yeah, as I said, it's an impromptu episode because there's, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff happening in the past couple 48 hours that I just wanted to get off my chest. And yeah, that's what we're going to be doing here today. So, to kind of open things off, I don't know, man. The NBA Finals, it's like, yeah, man. What's going on with my Warriors, man? It's like Kevin Durant's not back, and it's like Toronto, like, we thought it was gonna be a long series. Toronto takes game 1. We take game 2, going back home here to Oracle. Then game 3 happens. KD's not back. Then Clay doesn't play. Steph plays lights out, but nobody else helps him, and we still get blown. Like it was still we still played hard, but like the score, even though the score like looked like we got blown out, but no, we played hard. But then game 4 happened. It's like we played well for like the first half, and then all of a sudden we disappeared in the second half, and KD still doesn't play, and we're down 3-1. Going into Monday's, what could possibly be the game 5, what could possibly be the series ender, and it's not looking good on Kevin Durant's return. ESPN and Brian Windhorst is saying that like Kevin Durant's like doesn't seem to be close to returning, and it's causing frustration around like the Warriors. And I don't know, it's not like I don't know, it's not like exactly, they had 4 all-stars, but no, heading into the finals they had 4 all-stars, but they only had like DeMarcus Cousins was coming off that quad tear in the first round against the Clippers, but it was clear he wasn't 100%. So I don't know, like if KD doesn't come back game 5, I mean, we'll have to pull out something miraculous. But it was clear that Steph was tired from game 3, but we'll see what happens in game 5. If Kevin Durant doesn't come back and Steph played the way he did, like if everyone had played like they did in game 4, like at least in the second half, then yeah, I think, like as D Wright says in the live chat, it's probably time. It's the Raptors' time. So we'll see what happens on Monday. So E3's technically started today with EA Play, and I'll be honest, I was not surprised with the lack of Switch support with EA. It was like before the event they announced that FIFA 20 on the Switch was gonna be like a legacy edition, meaning that it's like none of the features from like the PS4 and Xbox One version are going to the Switch. So it's pretty much the same version of FIFA 20 or the FIFA games on the Switch, but with like roster updates, which pretty much proves that EA doesn't give a crap about the Switch at all. I mean, it's like, why put FIFA on there in the first place? Like, it's like, even like that doesn't prove like EA like cares about the Switch. It pretty much proves that EA doesn't care about the Switch. It's like if EA cared about the Switch, if they wanted to capitalize on the Switch, it's like why doesn't EA put Madden on the Switch? Why doesn't EA put like something like Apex Legends, which is doing like so hot right now, right on the Switch? Why don't they put that new Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which, to be honest, it kind of looks like a Uncharted but with Star Wars. So I don't know, EA, man. EA is a pretty weird company, and I have no support for them at all, and it doesn't look like they'll be supporting the Switch anytime soon. There's some other not EA, E3 stuff going on with the Nintendo Championship tournaments going around, which I happened to watch, by the way. Two of those tournaments were actually pretty good. The Super Mario Maker Invitational, it was really interesting to watch. I think what was his name? The Completionist. It wasn't the Completionist. It was let me see here. Super Mario Maker 2 Invitational. I forgot his name. Some guy won it. Abdallah. Abdallah won the Super Mario Maker 2 Invitational, and the courses that which were made by like the producer or developer for Super Mario Maker, he helped make those courses, or he played those courses and Nintendo made them. No, they were pretty intense courses, so maybe they'll put them in Super Mario Maker 2 like when it comes out. I'm still undecided on whether to get it on day one. I'll probably wait like after release on that. But the Invitational itself was really fun to watch. And then after that, the Splatoon 2 World Championships happened, and man, like even it was kind of long, to be honest. But I don't know. I didn't watch the last year's World Championship, but it was pretty like it was worth the long like runtime, because like it reminded me of how much I missed playing Splatoon 2, despite my stance on Nintendo Switch Online, and it was just like it was so fun to watch everyone else like play it. GG boys from Japan ended up winning the Splatoon 2 World Championship tournament in the finals, like 4-2, against what was the other team's name? I think it was called like FT Win. Yeah, FT Win. But it was a pretty cool. It's like FT Win was leading 2-0, and then they pretty much pulled the Toronto Raptors against the Milwaukee Bucks and won 4 straight, because like they were saying like in Japan, Splat Zones is like the best like ranked mode, and they used that to their advantage, and they won because Splat Zones was like back to back, and then they used that to their advantage to tie up the series, and then they won like I think it was Tower Control, or no, I think it was Rainmaker or something like that. Yeah, it was Rainmaker, and GG Boys like are repeat champions. So that was pretty cool to see. But yeah, that was pretty much it. I didn't see the. Oh yeah, before we move on, I didn't see the Smash Bros. Ultimate Invitational that much, but like some of the announcements that came out of these tournaments were that that Splatoon 2 is getting a 5.0 update, which is gonna have like all of the Splatfest like stages like as like they're playable in like private battles. I don't know about like multiplayer battles in that 5.0 update, like, you know, like playing like random battles. I don't know. And then also the final Splatfest is happening, which is Chaos versus Order. But to be honest, I thought it was gonna be like Pearl versus Marina, or or like Squid Sisters, Callie Marie versus Off the Hook. So, but I don't know. It's kind of surprising it wasn't either one of those two. But the artwork was pretty dope. If you haven't seen it already, and I don't know. It's like it's the last Splatfest, and I still feel very. I'm still kind of in the boycott with Switch Online. It's like, do I wanna like end it for just this Splatfest? Like just this one last time? I'm thinking about it. We'll see. But there's still a month left before that last Splatfest. Let's see. What else do I have on my docket? I think those were like just some of those opening things I wanted to get out of the way. The main thing I wanted to talk about actually was a video made by a YouTube creator known as SMG4. He makes these like Mario like Gary's Mod videos. It's like they're really hilarious, and he was doing like this like arcs like episodic series where like he's been doing them like for the past couple of months now, and it was a finale to their most recent arc, and it was just so good. It was really good. So I'm gonna be talking about that today, along with WWE Super Showdown. So let's talk about the anime arc first, because I kind of have something to say about Saudi Arabia and WWE at the end. So the anime arc, man, what a I feel like that. Oh wait, hold on. I feel like that was a really good episodic story right there. But before I continue, to those of you in the live stream right now that are watching this, or even in the replay of this stream that are watching this, there are going to be a lot of spoilers from SMG4's Anime Arc. So if you haven't watched any of the episodes, if you haven't watched the finale or the second half or the first half, I recommend you watch it first. And if you don't want to hear any spoilers, I recommend you if at least you're watching live, just hit that mute button and then come back when I talk about WWE Super Showdown. Or if you're watching the replay, just skip to the part where I talk about Super Showdown. I'm doing yourself a favor. Alright, so I'm letting you know right now that starting from here, it's all spoilers. I'm giving you a chance. Alright? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because I'm not holding back. Alright. Here we go. Man, a lot of stuff happens after dark, after hours. Alright. The finale. Well, let's talk about the arc itself. I thought the first half, at least, the arc itself was really good. The first half, which gave context of why why it's called the anime arc, is because Mario, who's portrayed as really stupid in SMG4's videos, he gets challenged to do a bunch of anime challenges by this Spike, from the Mario series. He's called Fishy Boopkins, and Fishy Boopkins challenges Mario and this cyborg that SMG4 developed, known as Tari, who, by the way, is having a a series called Meta Runner, which looks pretty cool. They get challenged to this anime challenge where they do a bunch of anime kind of tasks, and Mario gets out of hand with one of the challenges, and he causes chaos around the city, which leads to Princess Peach banning anime because of Mario, and it it leaves Bob, like he's like one of these coat guys, Fishy Boopkins, and a bunch of other people's trying to like smuggle anime into the Mushroom Kingdom because there's no anime, and it's like pretty much the entire Mushroom Kingdom is divided into like supporting the anime ban and like everyone else trying to like get anime through illegal means. So pretty much, yeah, there's an organization, like there's a war between an organization, like between ASS, yeah, that's that's literally the name, which stands for Anime Secret Service, and the Anime Cartel, which is run by by Francis, who eventually becomes the main villain in the second half of the arc. And he's the one like that leads the smuggling of anime like illegally. And then they're pretty much having a war on like the anime ban. But then this dude named Axel, he's like he was some random dude that came out of nowhere in the series until he was revealed to be an inkling. Like it was like that's like a freaking curveball. And, like he convinced Princess Peach to unban anime, and I thought that was pretty much it. That the episode was it, and then it was like Meanwhile, while this was happening, Meggy, an Inkling character who I thought was one of my favorite characters in the entire SMG4 series, like she didn't give a shit what was going on. It's like she only gave a shit when this anime, like one of the anime characters, Psycho, like Saiko, like she was banned from the country because she's an anime character. And Meggy and friends are trying to rescue her and try to get her back into the country. And then when it's all said and done, it's like Meggy is now preparing for the Splatfest, and like Meggy, Mario, Luigi, Tori, it's like they're all ready, or like at least they think they're ready for the Splatfest, but then like that's when things get really interesting. It's like that's when the second half of the arc begins. Like Meggy is gone. It's like she's not there, and it's like the Splatfest starts, and Meggy's team does horribly, and there's like it's halftime, and they don't know what to do. Like Meggy's rival, like Dusty, like the Octoposse, like the leader of the Octoposse, she, even though she hates like Meggy, she wants to help like find her, like cause she needs a rival. And so they go on to like they go out to find Meggy throughout Inkopolis, and they like one side concludes that it was the Inkling guy who had an Ink Weaver known as Axel, the Axel guy. But then I think the sides were like Mario. Hold on, let me see. What sides were they? They were Mario. Let me see. Oh, here's the Splatfest incident. Oh yeah. Okay. So it's SMG4 or Bob, Fishy Boopkins, and Psycho against Mario, Luigi, Tori, and Dusty. It's like Psycho thinks it's like Axel who kidnapped Meggy, but Dusty doesn't think it's like Axel, which like, and they fight Captain America Civil War style. So they fight, but it's like Psycho and Dusty are the only ones fighting. Oh no, wait, it was like Psycho or Dusty's the one who thinks it's Axel. Dang, that name is so hard to pronounce. And then they split off. They try to find to go find Meggy their way. And yeah, that leads into the next episode, which is the Inkling disappearances. It's at that point we still don't know who whether or not it was Axel. And it's then it's not just Meggy who was kidnapped, it's all the Inklings in Inkopolis who are kidnapped. And then it's oh yeah, it's I'm trying to remember all these moments from the previous episodes, because I'm only caught up on the last. It's I only remember the 2-part finale. Okay, so it's the Psycho side goes to Inkopolis only to find the Inklings hiding. Or oh no, this is Dusty's side. And then Psycho side, they go to the Mushroom Kingdom, and they convince Swag and Chris to join them to find Meggy. And then back in Inkopolis, they Mario's team fights an anime, one of Francis's anime characters. At the time, we didn't know it was Francis who was doing this. It was he was an OP anime character. and then despite this, dang, I'm so out of whack right now. Okay, so it's the whole team. It's the whole team eventually team up. The whole both sides team up eventually, because they just want to find Meggy. And it's they want to find Meggy. They team up. Chris and Swag Master 69. No, it's not Noob Master 69. They team up. They get a battleship, but then Godzilla attacks them, and they steal. It takes Dusty. But before that, Dusty has a really good character development, with in a conversation with Psycho. That Psycho says it's Tari apologizes that Dusty apologized that about with their behavior, with calling them losers, and then she reveals that she actually cares for people. It's she even cares for Meggy, and it's she doesn't really hate Meggy. She likes her as a friendly rival. And then after that happens, they get attacked by Godzilla. And then that's when we find out it wasn't Axel who didn't steal, um, who didn't steal Meggy. It was then in the next episode it turned out to be Francis, because Francis in this episode called Mario and the Experiment, he wants to create his own. He wants to use the ink weaver and this machine, like a giant like ink tank called the Ink Sucker 3000, to create his own personal waifu island. And that's pretty much like his like reasoning behind kidnapping Meggy. And I think it was also because Meggy ruining his plans at smuggling anime, and revenge for Mario not paying his debt. But anyway, so pretty much like more like you find out it's like all the Inklings have pretty much like, besides Meggy, it's like they already have their ink sucked out by Francis, and Francis has Meggy because she finds out that Meggy has like a lot of ink to suck into the ink weaver, like to max it out. And while all this is happening, it's like Mario and the whole crew are still being attacked by Godzilla. And then it's like it takes a freaking waifu pillow and Fishy Boopkin's dad, which turns out to be Octodad, from the game Octodad, to be saved. and then pretty much like it goes into a scene where Axel Destiny is like being taken taken to her own her own prison cell, but before that she's being shown off to Meggy, because oh, we captured Destiny too, now we can get Octoling ink. And then it's like Destiny teams up with Meggy temporarily, and they attack Francis's waifus, but then they both get captured again, and then Francis and Axel pretty much get tied up in chains, hard chains, and Meggy's back in the ink sucker again. And then we get to World War, the two-part finale, the Infinity War part of the finale, which I thought was well, let me say this. Avengers Endgame was really good, but I thought Infinity War is better. Well, SMG4's the two-part finale, Anime Arc two-part finale, which was called World War Mario and Final Hours, I thought Final Hours was much better than World War Mario. So to give you context on the finale, we have to go back to World War Mario. And pretty much at this point in the live stream, I've been explaining so much context about this anime arc, because, well, if you haven't watched it yet, or if you have watched it, you probably know what's going on, but you want a little more context. So pretty much, it's like it's like a war. It's like Infinity War. It's like Mario, SMG4, and friends are at Anime Island in a all-out war against Francis's waifus. It takes a while for them to defeat them, and then they go inside to save Meggy. It's however, they're stopped by one of Francis's more powerful waifus, like it's like some random ass character from Final Fantasy VII. Um, they stop him temporarily, but they don't kill him. That's the problem here. And then it eventually impales Dusty out of one of the most crazy endings to a SMG4 episode. Dusty gets killed, and at the time we thought it was like, oh, she's just gonna get resurrected at the end, like most characters in the SMG4 universe do. But nah, and this leads to the finale. This leads to the finale called Final Hours. It immediately proves that Dusty is officially dead. It's like Tori tries to speak to her, but no, she's dead. She like no single word or breath is coming out of her mouth. So like pretty much Francis like has had enough of the like sympathy cards from both Maggie and Tori and everyone else to Dusty's dead body. He summons 100 Final Fantasy waifus to attack Mario, to dominate Mario and everyone else. And when it looked like all hope is gone, and I totally forgot about these guys. Bob, Chris, and Swag came up in the ultimate team up of Team Swag 69. I don't know. I don't have a better team name for them. They came in a tank and killed all the minions, but while they were doing that, they shot Francis into the ink tank, which I thought was pretty stupid. And this is one of the best Infinity War references. It's like Francis had the ink weaver. He's like, and he had the pen. He's like, you should have gone for the head. And then he put it on the paper. And then I thought Bob was gonna be like, no. And then like Francis like summoned his most ultimate, was supposed to be his ultimate waifu, Super Saiyan Goku. And then he went on to beat up like pretty much everybody until like Axel grabbed the ink weaver. And then he had to do something with it, but it was already out of ink. Tori couldn't do like anything because like even though she distracted Goku with Dragon Ball Fighter Z. I was like, I thought that was pretty funny. But I don't know. I thought like that was that was pretty funny. But then this is where things started, like the rest of this episode, the rest of this finale. This was where it really got to me. Like it really, I feel like this got to me emotionally more than it did to Endgame. So if you haven't watched Endgame either, you pretty much want to avoid this spoiler too. So in Endgame, Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow dies. Like she sacrifices herself. To get the Soul Stone, you have to on Vormir. You have to sacrifice someone you love, which is pretty much like in Infinity War. That's what Thanos did to Gamora. So in Endgame, when they time travel, Clint and Black Widow, they had to do the same thing. So they pretty much fought over who was gonna do it. And in a moment of like desperation and sadness, Black Widow was like, "Let me go. It's okay." And then Black Widow just like jumped off the cliff. Like no, she like Hawkeye like was holding onto her, but like Black Widow like jumped out of his grip, and then she like jumped and sacrificed herself to get the stone. But in here, like in the anime arc finale, is like Maggie was telling Axel like, put the ink weaver in the machine. I was like, but everyone was like, "No, you'll die." But it was like that "let me go, it's okay" moment of this episode. There was like so many Endgame references in here, and this was one of them. Maggie pulled a Black Widow. She was like, "Let me go, it's okay," and Axel did what she wanted and put the Inkweaver in there. But before it reached max capacity, I don't know if it did. I think no, it did reach max capacity. But Goku destroyed the machine, destroyed the Inkweaver, or destroyed the Ink Sucker. But that didn't stop Axel from getting the Inkweaver at max capacity, which gave him a chance to draw his own character that is more powerful than any of Francis's waifus or all of anime. Shaggy. Shaggy Rogers. Ultra Instinct Shaggy. I honestly didn't think that was going to happen at all. That was a total left turn. It's like I didn't think it was like Shaggy until I remembered like watching it like a second and third time that I forgot there were Shaggy memes, and I just remembered now that fans were petitioning to get Shaggy Rogers into Mortal Kombat 11 before it came out, and oh my god, it was the ultimate swerve, freaking Shaggy Rogers of all characters. So pretty much they battled it out, and it was one of the weirdest things I have ever seen. And that's when things started to get interesting. And yeah, pretty much after that, Psycho killed Francis by putting him into a spare Ink Zucker, which drained Francis of his own like ink that he suddenly was able to absorb from reasons. But then it's like the anime island starts to explode, or like starts to crumble, and starts because Goku decides to self-destruct out of nowhere, and then it's like just as I thought they were gonna die, and Shaggy saves them all and brings them back to the warship, but Maggie is still there on the island, and everyone thought that Shaggy was killed in that explosion along with Maggie. So I honestly thought she was dead. Like she was dead. Like after, like she was like Axel, like after she sacrificed herself. But this is where I'm just like perplexed here. Shaggy saves Maggie, or at least I think, but there's a catch. There's a catch here. As Mario put it correctly, who the hell is that? And pretty much like here, I'm gonna screen share this reaction right here. Give me a moment. Alright, let me screen share this. Yes, this is pretty much my reaction to my reaction as well when I saw Maggie in this episode. At the end of this episode. Oh, there you go. I didn't know. I wasn't sure if I was screen sharing, but yeah, there's my reaction to as well. But so if in case you don't know what Maggie looks like in like now, before obviously she was an Inkling, but now let me go here. Let me see if I can find a good picture of it. No. Oh, there we go. Okay. Let me screen share one more time. Okay. She looks like this. She looks like this. And I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted. It's like, what happened here? It's like, how did Maggie go from an inkling to this? And like the real life SMG4 is gonna have a lot to explain. Because like just recently, they removed Maggie from the channel banner, so I think they're probably gonna put Maggie, like the new version of Maggie, in there. But I don't know. I'm like mixed on this look, because one, I'm gonna miss Maggie, like the Inkling Maggie, but two, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. It's like, it's just gonna take a lot of getting used to if this is what Maggie's gonna look like going forward. And I don't know. It's like, I guess here's my theory of why Maggie is a human now instead of an Inkling. It's like, I guess when Maggie, it's like, told Axel, like, was in that ink sucker machine, it's like it caused her to drain all of her ink out. Like, she lost all of her the ink from her body, which I guess like went to the ink weaver. But then, like, even though she did that sacrifice, it caused her to change. She could still speak English. She could still speak in ink, like in Inkling, but she can't transform into like a squid. She's not a squid kid anymore. She's just a kid. It's like she can't be a Woomy. But yeah. But other than that, it's like, this is gonna take a lot of getting used to, like Maggie's new human form. We don't know if this is permanent or like temporary, because you know how with SMG4 and like arcs, it's like with the Waluigi arc, you know how like Waluigi is all evil and all this stuff. It's like, well, after the Waluigi arc, Waluigi just became like how Waluigi was before the arc. He was just like a random background character, except for one episode where he like redeemed himself from his actions. But then it's like, we don't know with Maggie. Is it gonna be permanent? Is it gonna be temporary? And what about Inkopolis? It's like, how she will she stay in Inkopolis and how does she travel? Now that she's a human, how does she travel from Inkopolis to the Mushroom Kingdom? Now, it's like, I feel like there's so many questions going forward, for Maggie in the SMG4 videos. But yeah, this was out of the 3 arcs that the 3 story arcs that SMG4 has done in the past several months, this is the best one out of so far. It's like SMG4 is more known for doing these comedy Mario Gary's Mod videos, but he's they've been stepping it up with the the story arcs. It's like they're really interesting. So the video ends, the anime arc ends itself with a funeral, a Tony Stark style funeral, like SMG4's version of the end game ending with a funeral for Dusty. Meggy was like is not ready to push Dusty away because like into the eternal sea, because it's like she feels like she's the one that like caused Dusty's death, like pretty much how she was in Meggy's boot camp, like where she was like too harsh on like Mario, Luigi, and Tari. It's like she's doubting herself again. It's like, and yeah, this was one of those moments where she doubts herself again, and everyone at the end, it's like brings her back up, and they just tell her to keep going, and like do what you keep doing, and then Meggy finally pushes her into the she I don't know, like I guess embraces her in like new form and like new like all of her friends like advice, and she does one last salute to Dusty, and everyone does the same thing. The Inklings and Chris and Swag and the soldiers do like that military shoot, and the video ends with, and then Meggy promises Dusty to win the Splatfest for not just her but for them, and that's how the arc ends. Overall, I really enjoyed it, and it's like I really liked like this focus on Meggy, and not just her, but like an unexpected development on like Dusty as a character, because it's like she was just like a generic rival to like Meggy, but it's like she like I like how they developed her into this like is like friendly rival, like that like even though she seems like a hateful person, like she actually cares for people, and that's one of the things that SMG4 has been doing. They've been doing for the past couple of months. They've been focusing a lot on character development. They've been giving these characters a lot more like personality than just like, oh hey, I'm a like Mario, oh hey, I'm just a dumb frick. And it's like even though Mario is like dumb, he actually like he cares for a few people, especially Meggy. So it's like this arc really did well in character development and storytelling, and I just can't wait to see what they do next. Even yes, they are going back to regular videos. It'll be really interesting to see. It's like what story arc they decide to pursue, and again, they still have a lot of questions to answer in regards to the future of Meggy, because I just hope they don't like even though now she's a human, I just hope they don't like use her like less or more. But I just hope they use her the same way like she was when she was an Inkling, like when they were using her Inkling model. But we'll see. We'll see where they go from here. All right. Now that I'm done rambling on about this, the SMG4 Anime Arc, let's end things off with WWE Super Showdown, or as I like to say, Stupid Slowdown, because that's how a lot of this event felt. Lucky for me, I didn't watch this most of this event because I was busy at school. But if you were one of those unfortunate folks that had to waste 4 hours watching it in Blood Money Arabia, I feel sorry for you. But you know, this show was mostly for the people in Saudi, and their damn like people. But to be honest, this pay-per-view was pretty much a glorified episode of a Raw House show. Um, I didn't. Yeah, like I said, I didn't watch most of the show. I only was able to manage to like actually watch the Undertaker versus Goldberg, and man, what a mess that was. I mean, I honestly like. Was I the only one that expected this to be bad? It's like okay, I expected it to be bad, but it's like I honestly didn't think it was gonna be like horrible, like really really horrible. It's like Goldberg looked really horrible. Undertaker was like obviously a mess. Well, yeah, he was still a mess, and it just proved that they both need to retire. It's not just Undertaker; it's Goldberg too. So the match starts with how Goldberg's matches with Brock Lesnar started. Two spears right out of the gate. But Undertaker gets out and he does a sit up. And I think after that he got in some offense. Then he did old school. And then when Goldberg was trying to hit another spear, or when Goldberg did hit another spear, and then but he couldn't like cover. It's like Goldberg cover for a pin. Goldberg tried to hit another spear, but then Undertaker like reversed it, and Goldberg hit the second turnbuckle, and then he started bleeding. And I honestly didn't believe that he started bleeding there because like if you looked really closely, like when he was coming out, you could see like on his forehead that he had this like kind of small, like really small cut of blood. It's like you could tell he was like he cut himself a little bit there, so just so he can blade later on, like in the match. And then it was reported by various news outlets that Goldberg got a concussion, and he like put that on himself to like explain it, or like to explain that he didn't have a good match. But regardless, it even though you had, like, regardless if you had a concussion or you busted yourself open, you still didn't have a good match. Like with regardless with Taker or with Lesnar, because you couldn't hit any moves. You botched the jackhammer, and you almost gave a concussion to Undertaker because it looked like a glorified brainbuster. Taker also even almost gave Goldberg a concussion when he hit a really like ill-advised tombstone pile driver, and it was like this match was so messy. There's so many botches. It's like I think that finish was like when Undertaker hit a really bad chokeslam. I think that was improvised because when Undertaker got the 3 count, Undertaker's face, when you see the thumbnail later, and here, let me see it. Let me see. Super Showdown. WWE Super Showdown. Undertaker versus Goldberg. Here, I'm gonna screen. Let me open image, a new tab. Here, let me screen share this to you. This was pretty much Undertaker's face. This is pretty much Undertaker's face. He looked legit pissed that the match went down the way it did. It's like, what are your expectations when you're like over 50 years old going up against a man like your age, almost your age? It's like, do you expect a 5-star classic? It's like, okay, like what? Seriously, what are your expectations? It's like, bro, you know why you came here. It's like you came here for all the blood money that Saudi is offering. Like you and Goldberg, man. It's like so bad. It was like the match was so bad. And it's like I don't care like about the entrances that they got, or like all the like that stare down. It was like not even F-worthy bad. It was like the lowest of lows bad. It was like GHIJKLMNOPQRSTTUL, like all the way down to Z quadruple minus. Z minus. That's how bad the match was. And then, that wasn't even the caveat of it. Shane McMahon actually beat Roman Reigns. However, he got some help from Drew McIntyre. That doesn't change the fact, though, that Roman Reigns lost to Shane McMahon. That's kind of very telling where Roman Reigns is in his career, because it's funny because he came back in March of this year from leukemia, and that was a very emotional return, like on that episode of Monday Night Raw. But ever since then, it's as if nothing like for his character has changed. I mean, I feel like this loss to Shane McMahon, it kind of killed some of that credibility in Roman Reigns. It's like he squashed Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. I mean, and he squashed Elias at Money in the Bank. But you lose to a 50-year-old Shane McMahon. It's like, okay, you pretty much lost some degree of your credibility. And like what exactly is like Shane McMahon accomplishing here? It's like ever since Shane McMahon came back to the WWE, he's been pretty much like everybody's like I don't know. He's been a test dummy to everybody. He like throws himself around. It's like he lost to The Undertaker. He lost to AJ Styles like in 2 consecutive WrestleManias. Then all of a sudden he gets a push. He wins that Best in the World tournament, and then he wins the tag team championships with The Miz, but then he beats The Miz at Mania and in a steel cage at Money in the Bank, and then beats Roman Reigns at Super Showdown. It's like, why is a 50-year-old McMahon getting a push in 2019 when there are so many guys in the back that are so worthy of in need of a push, not getting such? This is why people want to leave the WWE to go to All Elite Wrestling, to go to New Japan, to go to even a place like TNA or whatever they're called, Impact, to get opportunities to showcase themselves as wrestlers. People like Shane McMahon, people like the Iconics, people like Goldberg and The Undertaker, people that are past their primes, that people that WWE sees as worthy, yet they haven't proven anything, or like they don't do anything, get a push in 2019. And not only that, this thing with Shane McMahon also hurts Drew McIntyre, because when I saw Drew McIntyre back when he was in NXT, he had all the makings of a main event player. He won the NXT championship, and yeah, he lost it like I think a couple months later. But then when he came up to the main roster, it's like sure, he had an alliance with Dolph Ziggler and we thought it was temporary, but then it's like he stayed with him for too long, and then pretty much after that he became everyone's like butt buddy. He became butt buddies with Baron Corbin. He became butt buddies with Bobby Lashley. He became butt buddies with Braun Strowman. He became butt buddies with freaking Shane McMahon. Drew McIntyre is pretty much everyone's butt buddy now. It's so like what is WWE doing? It's like does Vince McMahon not see Drew McIntyre as the same main event guy as Triple H does? It's like Ah, this is very frustrating. It's like this sucks to be a WWE fan right now. Um, I mean, it wasn't like there was one highlight, I guess. From Super Showdown, and I guess it was Brock Lesnar not cashing in Money in the Bank on Seth Rollins. Because Rollins attacked Lesnar when he was trying to cash in because he was too distracted by Paul Heyman pulling a Shaqtin' a Fool when Heyman tripped on one of the ring ropes trying to get in the ring and he tripped and he distracted Lesnar by doing so, and this allowed Rollins to attack Lesnar, hit the curb stop on the briefcase, and he was allowed to leave with his Universal title. And then at that point, I thought he was gonna cash in on Kofi Kingston, but it was like he didn't. He never did. And I don't know. Well, it's really interesting now. It's like, is it like? It's like, now who does he cash it in on? Does he still cash it in on Rollins, or does he like go with Plan B, go with Kofi Kingston? It's like, this is actually like, at first I thought Brock Lesnar winning the Money in the Bank was like a really bad thing, but it's like, I mean, it's still kind of like is, but ironically, it's like not. It's still kind of interesting. At least with the Money in the Bank, he's actually made it one of the most interesting like Money in the Bank stories since like Seth Rollins himself in 2014. And that was pretty much it, because everything else that happened in like stupid Slowdown was like disappointing. It's like it was pretty much a waste of time, and like every other match, like I guess aside from Triple H versus Randy Orton, which I actually managed to rewatch, that match was pretty okay. But it's like, what's Randy Orton gonna like do with this victory? It's like he doesn't do anything on SmackDown right now, so it's like, what's a victory over Triple H gonna do for him? I mean, nothing much really. But it's like, my thing with Saudi Arabia and WWE, it's like Saudi Arabia wants these stars like Undertaker, Goldberg, Shane McMahon. It's like, yeah, they're way past their prime, man. And Vince McMahon is still allowing these dudes to wrestle. And if the main event to like Crown Jewel or this latest edition of Super Showdown wasn't enough to convince Vince McMahon that maybe these guys shouldn't be wrestling, then Vince McMahon has a serious problem. It's like he thinks that this is still like 1985 or 1990. It's like, if he wanted it to be 1985, then he should get in the DeLorean with the Doc. You know, Back to the Future. But it's like Vince really needs to let them to retire. It's like these wrestlers, like, even though like Shawn Michaels retired, like, and like all these other like old wrestlers retired, like I think Goldberg like stated he was retired, but why did he come back? Like, and it's like they come back for like the big paycheck. And yet it's like the results are very shaky. It's like, what happens if they get a concussion? What happens if it's more than that? What happens if they tear something? What happens if they get hospitalized? And I don't even want to say like anything else after that. It could be something more devastating. Vince McMahon is really willing to put all like say for example Undertaker, Goldberg's, Shawn Michaels of the world's health on the line just for his own entertainment, just for Saudi Arabia's entertainment. If he really thinks that way, then he really is a bastard. He really is as out of touch as I think and many other people think he is. And to conclude things off, it's like this Saudi Arabia like blood money deal. It's only in its second year, man. It's like 10 years. So I really like. I guess Vince McMahon is really getting his money's worth by having old ass wrestlers wrestle till you know whatever happens. But I don't know. It's your call, Vince. If you really want these wrestlers to do what they like do until something happens, I'm not gonna say what it is, then it's gonna be your fault at the end of the day. But it's just not worth their health. And you should know better. And if this Super Showdown wasn't any indication, maybe someday it will be. It will be. But that's gonna be it for this episode of DylanLasagna Live. It was like a bonus episode, an impromptu episode, and I hope you all enjoyed it. It's like an after dark episode. It's really late. I'm probably gonna go to sleep after this, or I don't know, maybe rewatch the finale of SMG4's Anime Arc. Catch up on like some of the E3 stuff that happened today, like anything that I missed, and then tomorrow and throughout Thursday, E3 really begins with Bethesda, Microsoft, Ubisoft, I guess Square Enix, and Nintendo. Things are really picking up, man. It's picking up. Business is picking up. All right. And then on remember Thursday episode, I guess now it's officially episode 6 of DylanLasagna Live will be on its normal day, Thursday, 4:30 Pacific. I don't know if I don't think there will be another impromptu episode like this again. But who knows? All right, everyone. Don't forget to hit the like button, dislike, if you like, leave a comment down below. But other than that, always be delicious, and I will see you all in the next episode of DylanLasagna Live. Take care.